Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlicker shills, debt slaves, serfs, peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks, remote workers. I'm usefully welcome. And how timely that we now have DROGE, um, the Office of Government Efficiency, being created by the Trump administration. And this new report comes out that suggests that only 1% of government workers actually go to work. Pretty shocking by any standards. So excluding security and maintenance, all the other people in the government do not actually physically go to work every day. And they've used the excuse of the pandemic. And before the pandemic, 97% of government workers actually used to go into work. And now they work remotely, the entire sector, they worked remotely during the pandemic. And they never went back. And a Senate report is a little more generous. It says that 6% of government workers actually physically go to work. And so it begs the question, what are we paying for? This is exactly the kind of evidence that the Trump administration needs to show that government efficiency is anything but efficient. And if 99% of all government workers don't even bother going in to work physically anymore, that shows very clearly that these giant bureaucracies, these giant bloated, self-sustaining bureaucracies, could be whittled away quite easily. And it really makes the argument, for example, the Department of Education has been talked about being on the chopping block. And I have a lot of libertarian roots. I'm all for a much smaller government and eliminating a lot of these departments. The Department of Energy is another one. It was only created in the 70s, and we really have little to show for it. The energy sector has run amok and pretty much does what it wants to do, and our energy policies are none the better. And yet we've been sustaining this Department of Energy for 50 years. It could easily go to the wayside. And the Department of Education is another one, because when you get down to the numbers, wouldn't it be a lot better to eliminate the federal Department of Education and basically give all that money to the states to run their own education systems? It would be far more efficient, and we'd have a far better education system. And that's one of the arguments against the Department of Education is look how much the United States education system has deteriorated at every level, grade school, high school, and even college. The quality of education in this country is really, really completely deteriorated, and so there isn't really much justification for keeping around the Department of Education. And this kind of story only bolsters that kind of argument. So 99% of the government just goes home and stays home and supposedly does remote work. And as we've seen in the private sector, we've had a lot of people who basically supposedly are working remotely, who go on vacation and are supposedly still doing their work remotely. And I'm sure that works the same in the government. So just despicable. I don't know how much else I can add to that shocking report. And I wish the DROGE department Godspeed moving forward for government efficiency and getting our government to actually go to work. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too?